Hello, Cinemassacre fans, and, well, more importantly, Back to the Future fans. I'm speaking with AJ LoCascio, the voice of Marty McFly in the new Back to the Future game from Telltale. Hey AJ, how you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
All right. So, how'd you get the role of Marty in this game?
It was a complete shot in the dark. I heard about the game and I was like, man, I can't wait to play that. And that was it. I literally didn't think about it anymore. It just kind of hit me. I was like, oh my God, I should try out for that. And I had no idea how to do that. So I literally just found that Telltale was doing it, called up the head of the company. I think I left a message for the president, which is incredibly ballsy, but it was basically me as Marty or doing Marty's voice but saying it was my own. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
leaving a message saying like, "Hey, this is AJ LoCascio. I do a great Marty McFly. If you don't already have Michael J. Fox, this role is my density. Destiny or something like that." And I moved from New York to Los Angeles between this process, and when I got here, I said, "Hey, I'm out in LA by you guys. Let me know if you want me to do anything, any more auditions." And I did. I auditioned one more time, and then eventually they called me up and said, "Hey, you beat out hundreds of people, but you got the role. You're Marty." And I just about pooed my pants. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Cool. And that's really awesome that you knew about the game before it happened and everything.
Yeah.
Um, did you do any voices like prior to this?
Everything I did was like, I went to school for film, so I was constantly doing voices for, for student films and
Your
whatnot. It was
like
a lot of like silly
colleagues?
stuff, like do that chipmunk and all that sort of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it was nothing major. I mean, nothing nearly as humongous as, doing the Back to the Future game.
Obviously, Back to the Future is like one of the most quotable movies in existence.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite Marty lines from the films?
There's so many. Let's see. Have you got any ideas for quotes? I keep saying, "What the hell is a gigawatt?" And this is heavy, Doc. Yeah, I say that one quite. That one I just say in real life all the time. Like, heavy. Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean? That one I say, I think way too much though.
I was like in the second movie when he's like, what happens to us in the future, Doc? Do we become assholes or something?
Yeah. What are you talking about? What happens to us in the future? What do we become assholes or something? Yeah. I do. I love the way he says that. He's so an odd look on his face when he asks that.
Yeah, and then Doc Brown thinks about it for a second.
Think he considers it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I did for the audition, the one that I guess got me the role and that everyone keeps playing over and over again is the part where Marty is on the other side of the door when Doc gets all freaked out and runs out of his house, which is the Doc, the bruise on your head. I know how that happened. You told me the whole story. You were standing on your toilet and you were hanging a clock and you fell and you hit your head in the sink and that's when you came up with the idea for the flux capacitor, which is what makes time travel possible.
Can you do the "you're fired" part, from the second movie?
What?
He's like talking to Needles, and then
Yeah.
and then his boss calls up and is like, "You're fired." And he's like, "Oh no, I'm fired. I'm fired."
Fuck you. No, please, I can't be fired. I'm fired. Oh, he just.
Has Michael J. Fox heard it? Has he heard your voice?
I talked to Bob Gale. I can't believe I just said that, but I talked to Bob Gale Monday for quite a bit, and I asked him if he's heard it, and he said that he forgot to mention it at the Spike Awards or whatever, and that he'd bring it up next time he sees him. I'm like, that's heavy.
That's heavy.
I know he did about the likeness. I really don't know what his involvement is on the whole voice process. I'd
Uh,
love to know. I mean, as I said in the Telltale making of, he's a huge hero of mine. So any sort of blessing would be beyond comprehension for me.
so you got the voice down, and like everybody knows you can do such a remarkable impression. But you think if somehow they found a way to make a game about family ties or Teen Wolf, maybe you'd land the role again.
I hope so. It's funny that that's kind of been a common joke for people. Is like, oh, get ready for Stuart Little 7, and Family Ties the video game, and I'm like, yeah, great, thanks. Or Doc Hollywood 2 or whatever. It's. I hope so. If they do make a Doc Hollywood video game or Teen Wolf, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'd be into a Teen Wolf game, I think.
I'd totally do that. It would be a lot of awkward high school like conversations, and then you turn into a wolf and play basketball.
Yeah, do some backflips on top of a van.
On top of a van, yeah.
Are there any other voices you do?
Let's see. A lot of the voices I do are, someone presents to me like a character, it'd be like, can you do, this squirrel or this old man or whatever? And I used to do Chris Walken. I don't know if I could still do it anymore, but it was basically I just dropped a water bottle on my floor. But it was, I just talk like this, which is essentially every jerk does a Christopher Walken impression. But there you go, that was that. And but I also let's see if I can find it. Do Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is a bit like how do I describe it? It's kind of like an old English aristocratic kind of old man, really. But Anakin, are you telling me that you made a time machine out of a DeLorean? That was the only line I could think of, and that's not even from friggin' Back to the. I'm so used to saying that one that.
Are there any like voice jobs you hope to get, or any kind of like dream job, or?
I mean, hell, I'd love to do. For some reason, I've always loved Spider-Man. I'd love to do the voice of Spider-Man in anything. That would be a dream job. And
Cool.
I actually, for years, this is hilarious, but I got my way through college doing Jack Sparrow. I was a Jack Sparrow impersonator, which is
Okay.
bizarre. But I used to, do like birthday parties and charities and whatnot. So I'd love to do a Jack Sparrow voiceover for the game, which would be amazing. I could do that impression too if you want me to.
Sure, go for it.
All right. I mean, I really don't know what to say. I don't have any particular quotes that come to mind at the moment, but I could just talk to you like this for the rest of the interview if you want me to, Savvy. I'll see if I can think of anything. Why's the rum gone? That's the one that people always ask me. Why's the rum gone? Well, probably because I drank it. There you go.
Awesome. Oh, and of course, Christopher Lloyd's doing the voice of Doc Brown in the game, which is
Right.
awesome that he's coming back to doing that role again. So
Yeah.
have you worked together with him, or were you?
I'm going to be meeting him actually this Friday. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be in the past.
Yeah,
But
probably.
yeah, they're finally letting me meet him. I think they may have to keep me on a leash or something because I'm a little fanboy. So
So how much voice have you recorded for the game already? Like, is this is an ongoing like project?
yeah, it's 5 episodes. So I mean, I've done the first episode is complete as far as I know. I mean, I'm sure I'll have to do pickups or something. But this early next week is when I'll be doing the second episode. I believe just the second episode.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of still writing it as they go as well. I'm pretty sure they have the story down, but as far as the lines go, I mean, they're constantly changing. So
Yeah, it sounds interesting. So like when this, I mean, I don't know if you'd know all this, but like if when the game comes out, are like all 5 episodes gonna come out like one after another, or how spaced apart do you think they're gonna be?
I think I'm not 100% positive, but I think what I've been hearing is that it's going to be every month they're going to release one, and then at the end of those, at the end of the entire process, they're going to be releasing, hopefully, which is what I'm looking forward to, like a hard copy, like a disc that'll be in stores.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But for the most part, it's going to be downloadable on, I believe, on PS3, and I'm not. Everyone keeps tossing around different platforms it's going to be on, but I know it'll be on Mac and PC and PS3.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the PS3 ones. I think what I'm gonna wait for.
Right? Yeah, me too.
So Bob Gale, of course, the writer on the original films, he's back doing the story for the new game. So
Right.
like, what's it like working with him?
I actually just met him recently. I had a really trippy day on Monday. We shot a Spike promo, or a thing about the game, and he was there, Bob Gale was there, and I talked to him for quite a bit about, the game and Marty and Doc and all that sort of stuff, and he's amazing, actually. I didn't know what to expect when I met him, but he's like the sweetest guy I've ever met as far as like meeting people in Hollywood or working in the industry. He's the most humble dude in the world. And he's totally into it. Like, he's absolutely in love with the idea of a good game. Because he actually,
Hmm.
I'm sure people have mentioned this, he's referenced your video about the Back to the Future game.
Uh-huh.
He was talking about that when I was there, the LJN, that terrible game and all that. And he said that he was a huge fan of video games when they were coming out with with the movie and whatnot, and he really wanted to collaborate on it, but they wouldn't let him because they said he knew nothing about games because he did film. and it kind of, I guess, upset him, and now he actually gets a chance to really jump in and do it, and he's been ecstatic. Apparently, he's been amazing, and he absolutely loves it. So he's
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah, it's nice to see someone's finally taken the care and attention that the franchise deserves.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, and that's really cool. He apparently saw the video I did of it of the old one.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, the old ones, everybody pretty much agrees was just a total mess. So have you?
Oh, atrocious. I'm guessing you've played. I don't remember if you reviewed it. The Back to the Future, the one for the third Back to the Future, where there's four friggin' levels and you cannot beat a single one of them.
Yeah, the first level you're on the horse.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had friends over too, and I was like, "Hey, try this out." And like everybody played it for like a good half hour. Nobody could beat the horse, but we came pretty close at times. And controllers were thrown and curses were
Right.
shouted, and nobody could do it.
Yeah, it's funny actually. The when I was in like an EB Games or something, and I saw the game, it was just kind of like in the back of a shelf covered in dust. And I was like, "Oh my God, a Back to the Future game!" And it was like a cent or something. So I bought it, and I couldn't wait to play it. And I put it in, and this is like I'm like 18 when I got this, so I
Uh-huh.
wasn't I wasn't a kid, and I just spent like the next couple hours just cursing at the TV, because of that freaking horse. And then eventually I looked up codes, and I went to them, and I couldn't even beat the next levels. You
Oh,
know,
really?
I think I just coded through it until I got to the end and was very disappointed.
Oh, wow. I never even bothered to even try a code or anything. But
It's weird.
wow, what are the other levels like?
I think there's one where you're shooting. There's like a shooting gallery or something where people are popping out and you have to shoot them, which is not easy using a Sega controller.
Hmm.
And I think there's another one with Doc on the train, like where he's chasing after the train on a horse. I don't remember exactly, but they were just as hard as the first level. They were. It's impossible. There's a reason there's only four levels.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's funny actually when you released the. I remember when I just found out that I'd gotten the role of Marty, like for sure when you released that Back to the Future thing, and I think that's when I got the idea. I was like, I should contact James Rolfe and see if he'd be interested in, I guess finding out more or doing an interview with me or something.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was the inspiration for that.
Oh, okay. Nice. You played any of the other ones, like the second and third one on Nintendo, where it was like both?
I don't. I'm sure I did when I was younger,
Mm.
but I don't recall ever spending much time on them. Especially not certainly not recently.
Yeah, they were all bad in their own way, which was like they all had their own just divine badness.
Right?
And the Super Famicom one that was only in Japan,
Right.
that one was okay. It was nothing
Pretty
special, but it was
right.
playable.
Kind of reminds
Um,
me of Wayne's World the way that one looks, with the giant heads.
yeah, the bobblehead look.
Yeah. Another terrible game. Wayne's World was horrific. I was excited when I saw that one too.
Yeah, definitely. Anything you can say about the new game?
The new let's see, what can I say? See, when you
Yeah.
release this, I'll probably know a little bit more. But honestly, it's funny when I'm recording the dialogue, my context as far as the director Dennis he'll give me hints more or less, but I don't really know what's going on.
Okay.
So I mean, I have a vague idea. It's like, all right, you're in this person's house, and you need to like put that chipmunk inside that hair dryer or something, and it's like I need to talk the player through it. That doesn't actually happen, by the way, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's a really weird and lewd moment with Doc. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
But I know that the only thing I know that I'm allowed to give away, I guess, is that we get to experience young Doc, which I'm excited about. I believe he's being voiced by James Arnold Taylor, who also does a killer Marty McFly impression. He did the I believe the Stuart Little video game or movie, and he also did the Atlantis sequel. So I was pretty honored when I found out that I actually got the role over him, and I don't mean that in any offensive way, but
So it,
yeah,
it kind of picks up after the third movie, I guess, and then
yeah,
jumps around in time.
yeah. I think it's 6 months after the third movie,
Cool.
roughly, and Marty's been kind of missing Doc and a little upset that Doc just kind of left him for dead. So
Uh-huh.
I believe it's roughly about 6 months where it leads into the new game.
Okay. It's
And
really interesting I'm excited to see that story continue because like the fourth movie's always been kind of like an urban myth kind of,
right,
and
yeah, totally.
yeah, and it's always been like, oh well, that's impossible. They'll never be able to like continue that. I mean, well,
Right,
one thing they'd have if they made the fourth movie, they'd have to get all the original actors and I know they're not thinking to do it, but
right,
even if they did, it seemed like there'd always be like time paradoxes and stuff. It would be so hard to write another one just
right.
because the three movies are so tied together.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really exciting to see more to the story. It's cool that to actually see it live on in a game.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's the thing that I actually, it's funny, right before, like, I don't know, a couple months before I heard about the Back to the Future game, I was talking to someone about if there was a sequel to Back to the Future, and we were, this is totally random, but thinking about proposing to DC. I know people that work at DC Comics and whatnot, seeing if we can get a Back to the Future comic made, which is totally random. But and we were trying to come up with a story for like what the hell would be a fourth Back to the Future, or what would continue after it.
Hmm.
Obviously ignoring the cartoons and the comics, and we couldn't come up with a damn thing. We were like, these movies are so tight. They're so interwoven, like you said, that
Uh-huh.
it's almost freaking impossible to come up with another story. But when I went to when I went to the game and I talked to the developers about the story and whatnot, I was actually kind of blown away. I was like, wow, you guys actually came up with something pretty clever, which I would have never have thought of. Which is why I guess I'm best doing the voice and not writing the story.
Yeah, the cartoon. I haven't seen that in like forever.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even like it as a kid. I remember thinking like it was a little
Uh-huh.
it was too hokey for me. I just couldn't get on board.
Yeah, they go back to like the dinosaurs and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, I forget. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, me too. It's been a very long time, but I was, a huge Back to the Future nut when I was a child, and I couldn't even bear it. I was like, this isn't Back to the Future. This is just
Yeah, I remember it wasn't very like it didn't seem like it really caught on that much.
right.
Um, and I remember there was a Teen Wolf cartoon also.
Yeah, which is horrific.
Yeah, and that I used to watch a lot, but don't remember anything from it.
I just
So,
remember it has a hilarious intro. That's about all I can recall. There was some awful, god awful theme song, but that's really all I remember.
uh-huh. Well, cool. Thanks for reaching out, and best of luck.
Thank you, sir. You as well.